Many consider daytime naps harmless, but do they truly cause no hidden damage to the body? It might seem surprising, but the nature of napping in older adults can reveal significant details about their long-term well-being and even their lifespan. The medical community has long recognized sleep's critical role in bodily restoration. However, recent scientific research suggests that some seemingly innocuous napping habits can gradually but steadily deteriorate health. This impacts not just energy levels or memory sharpness, but also deeper systems like heart health, brain function, and overall independence. It's crucial to emphasize that this discussion isn't about napping itself. On the contrary, for many older adults, short restorative naps can be highly beneficial. However, the way this rest is organized can lead to serious and undesirable consequences. Certain habits can significantly increase the likelihood of cardiovascular diseases. Others can disrupt the brain's natural sleep cycles, negatively impacting cognitive functions and memory. Some practices subtly undermine digestive health or affect blood sugar stability. Remarkably, all these potential issues can be entirely avoided with a mindful approach. This discussion will detail 5 common napping mistakes older adults often make, frequently without realizing it. We will provide comprehensive scientific explanations for why these seemingly minor errors are so crucial for health. Readers will gain valuable knowledge and the ability to manage their well-being and daily routines more effectively. The key takeaway will be methods for organizing naps to truly restore energy, rather than create new health risks. For those aged 60 and above, or those caring for loved ones in this age group, this material promises to be one of today's most informative and educational resources. Let's begin. 1. Napping immediately after eating. The idea of lying down for a short nap after a hearty meal can seem very appealing and comfortable. However, this habit can subtly cause far more harm to the body than commonly believed. When a person eats, especially heavy meals rich in carbohydrates or fats, the body immediately activates complex digestive processes. This multi-stage process requires the coordinated effort of organs like the stomach, pancreas, intestines, and liver. If someone lies down too quickly after eating, particularly in a horizontal position on their back, they disrupt the natural rhythm of these physiological processes. In such a posture, gravity, which normally aids food movement down the digestive tract, ceases to assist. Instead, stomach acid can much more easily rise into the esophagus, causing unpleasant sensations of heartburn, overt acid reflux, or even so-called silent reflux. Silent reflux may go unnoticed until it eventually damages the lining of the throat over time. For older adults, this problem becomes even more severe. With age, the lower esophageal sphincter, a small valve mechanism designed to keep stomach acid within the stomach, naturally loses its elasticity and weakens. This means the likelihood of acid reflux significantly increases. Regular exposure to reflux can irritate the throat lining or even lead to chronic inflammation. Furthermore, lying down immediately after a meal reduces blood flow to the brain and muscle tissues precisely when the digestive system requires substantial blood supply to perform its functions. As a result of this imbalance, a person may wake up feeling sluggish, groggy, and mentally foggy, rather than truly rested and energized. At first glance, napping after a meal might seem harmless. It's a common tradition in many cultures. However, context is key. For instance, napping in a seated position, whether in a comfortable recliner or just a chair, can significantly reduce the risk of reflux. Yet, lying flat on your back immediately after eating poses numerous problems. This is especially true for those already dealing with conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or cognitive impairments. Such a habit may seem minor, but its negative consequences tend to accumulate over time. This practice also points to something deeper: how we listen to our body's signals. In youth, one might easily eat a sandwich, lie down, and quickly recover. However, after age 60, the body needs significantly more time to adapt and fully recover. Take Robert, a 74-year-old retiree from Missouri, who used to nap daily right after lunch. He invariably woke up feeling tired, not refreshed. When his doctor advised him to wait 30 to 60 minutes before lying down, and to prefer napping in a chair if possible, Robert noticed a striking difference in his well-being. His acid reflux issues virtually disappeared, and he no longer woke up with an unpleasant sensation in his throat. Moreover, Robert observed that his mental clarity in the afternoon significantly improved. It's also important to consider the psychological aspect. Post-meal drowsiness isn't always purely physiological. Sometimes, it can reflect mental fatigue, sadness, or a lack of stimulating activity. Many older adults experiencing loneliness or insufficient engagement in active life may unconsciously fall into a routine of eating and sleeping by habit, rather than genuine physiological need. This creates a vicious cycle: eat, then sleep, wake up groggy, feel less motivated for physical activity, and consequently, repeat the cycle. Over time, such a lifestyle not only negatively impacts physical health but also suppresses emotional well-being and vitality. The conclusion is clear: there's no need to completely abandon napping, but it's crucial to be mindful of when and how it occurs. Allow your body sufficient time for proper digestion. It's recommended to spend some time upright, perhaps taking a light walk around the house or engaging in simple chores. Then, when you do decide to nap, you can truly experience its full benefits, as the real goal isn't just relaxation, but complete restoration. And it is precisely the approach to organizing this process that plays a decisive role. 2. Napping for too long. Daytime naps can seem like the ideal midday reboot, especially as we age and energy levels naturally dip in the afternoon. However, there's a critical threshold after which a nap transforms from beneficial to detrimental. This turning point typically occurs around 30 minutes. When older adults nap for too long, particularly if the duration exceeds 1 hour, it can lead to a phenomenon known as sleep inertia. This is the feeling of grogginess, disorientation, and sluggishness experienced after waking from a deep sleep phase. Instead of waking up refreshed and alert, one feels sluggish, and sometimes even more tired than before the nap. But it's not just about immediate post-nap feelings. Longer daytime naps, especially those over an hour, are now linked to more serious health issues. Research published in reputable gerontology and neurology journals indicates that older adults who nap excessively have a significantly higher risk of cognitive impairment, including serious conditions like dementia. What causes this negative impact? Extended daytime sleep disrupts the body's natural circadian rhythm, making it harder to fall asleep at night and maintain continuous sleep. Poor quality nighttime sleep, in turn, is one of the most powerful predictors of memory problems, mood disorders, and reduced immune function in older adults. It's often mistakenly believed that the need for a long nap is a solution, when in reality, it's frequently a symptom. Feeling the need to sleep 2 or 3 hours during the day might be the body signaling deeper issues: poor nighttime sleep quality, undiagnosed sleep apnea, depression, or even early signs of neurological changes. Therefore, instead of considering a prolonged nap as normal, it should be viewed as a warning sign, an important message worth heeding. Consider Irina, an 81-year-old woman who napped for 2 hours daily for years, constantly feeling tired. Instead of improving, her memory worsened, and her nighttime sleep became shorter and more fragmented. Her daughter advised her to see a doctor, who referred her to a sleep specialist. During the examination, Irina was diagnosed with moderate sleep apnea and low vitamin D levels, 2 problems she hadn't even suspected. After these conditions were addressed, Irina began napping for only 20 minutes during the day. It was then that her energy, memory, and overall sleep quality noticeably improved. The ideal nap duration for older adults, according to most sleep experts, is approximately 20 to 30 minutes. This is enough time to recharge the brain without entering deeper sleep stages, from which waking is more difficult. Such short power naps can sharpen mental abilities, reduce stress levels, and even support heart health, all without disrupting full nighttime sleep. It's also worth noting that longer naps can heighten feelings of isolation or anxiety, especially for those living alone. When a significant portion of the day is spent sleeping, one loses time that could be dedicated to physical activity, socializing, or simply engaging in mentally stimulating pursuits. This time is immensely valuable, particularly after age 65, when maintaining mental activity and social connections is one of the most powerful ways to slow the aging process. Therefore, if someone regularly needs 2 to 3 hours of daytime sleep, they should question what truly lies behind this fatigue. They should also consider what changes might occur if they shorten this sleep to a brief restorative rest instead of a second full sleep. 3. Napping semi-reclined for several hours. There's an undeniable allure to a cozy recliner, soft, enveloping cushions, how it perfectly molds to the body, and the soothing hum of a background TV. For many older adults, it becomes an unofficial favorite spot for daytime rest. However, most people don't realize that prolonged sleep in a semi-reclined yet upright position, such as in a chair or recliner, can actually pose a hidden threat to their health. When someone sleeps in a recliner instead of lying flat in bed, their body cannot fully relax. The diaphragm, the key muscle responsible for drawing air into the lungs, has to work harder in this semi-seated position. Over time, this can lead to shallow breathing during sleep. Shallow breathing, in turn, means less oxygen reaches vital organs, the brain, heart, and muscles. This isn't merely a comfort issue. Studies have convincingly shown that insufficient blood oxygenation during rest, especially in older adults, is closely linked to chronic fatigue, brain fog, and even increased strain on the cardiovascular system. Furthermore, sleeping in a recliner can restrict normal blood circulation, particularly in the lower limbs. Gravity naturally pulls blood downwards, and when knees are bent for prolonged periods, this can slow blood return to the heart. Stagnant blood significantly increases the risk of clot formation. This is especially dangerous for older adults suffering from varicose veins or with limited mobility. A condition known as deep vein thrombosis, DVT, can develop if people sleep for extended periods in chairs without stretching or walking afterward. In the most severe cases, these clots can break off, travel to the lungs, and become life-threatening. As an example, consider Marvin, a 76-year-old former foreman who napped for 2 hours daily in his recliner after lunch. He woke up with neck pain and tingling in his arms, but attributed it to natural signs of aging. Eventually, his doctor diagnosed him with cervical spine compression. This was partly caused by the improper neck angle during prolonged recliner sleep. Once Marvin switched to short naps lying in bed and started using a simple neck pillow, his pain significantly decreased within a few weeks. But perhaps the most subtle danger lies in the psychological aspect. Napping in a living room chair, often in front of a running TV, can become more a form of escape than genuine rest. It's easy to fall into the habit of dozing off from boredom rather than true physical fatigue. When this happens regularly, it signals a lack of sufficient engagement in life. It becomes a habit of retreating from the world instead of actively participating in it. For older adults, mental stimulation, a sense of purpose, and social interaction are especially vital for maintaining long-term well-being. Therefore, if someone finds themselves falling asleep in a chair every day, they should take a moment to ask themselves, am I truly resting, or am I slowly sinking into a dangerous routine? The most optimal nap occurs lying flat on a quiet, comfortable surface for 20 to 30 minutes. This isn't about abandoning rest altogether. It's about choosing a type of rest that truly refreshes and restores energy, rather than depleting it. And sometimes, this simple transition from a chair to a bed can make a decisive difference for one's health. 4. Napping too close to bedtime. Many might believe that sleep is just sleep, a brief break whenever one feels tired. However, there's a reality many older adults don't realize until it becomes a daily frustration. Napping too close to regular nighttime sleep can seriously disrupt the natural sleep cycle and gradually undermine overall health. Our bodies operate according to an internal biological clock known as the circadian rhythm. This rhythm plays a key role in regulating sleep-wake cycles, controlling the release of hormones like melatonin, which calms us in the evening, and cortisol, which promotes waking in the morning. But when we nap late in the day, especially 3 to 4 hours before our usual nighttime sleep, we disrupt this finely tuned rhythm. Instead of feeling naturally sleepy around 9 or 10 p.m., our body thinks it has already rested, which shifts our sleep window and significantly hinders falling asleep at night. This disruption might seem minor at first, perhaps just a little tossing and turning before bed, but it accumulates over time. Nighttime sleep becomes fragmented. One might wake up more frequently during the night or feel groggy and unrested in the morning. For older adults, poor sleep quality doesn't just mean a grumpy morning. It can lead to reduced cognitive function, an increased risk of falls, higher blood pressure, and even a greater likelihood of developing depression. Consider Dorothy, a 74-year-old grandmother of 5, who started napping around 6 p.m. after dinner. She claimed it helped her digest and relax. However, she soon found she couldn't fall asleep until midnight, and even then, her sleep was restless. Her daytime energy significantly decreased, and she began missing her beloved morning walks. Ultimately, her doctor helped her understand that her early evening naps were the root cause of these issues. When she shifted her nap time to earlier in the day, around 2 p.m., she began sleeping better at night and feeling more rested in the morning. Late daytime naps also significantly reduce what sleep experts call sleep pressure, the natural accumulation of tiredness that promotes falling asleep. The human brain needs deep restorative sleep at night. When someone naps too late in the day, they release some of this pressure. This means an increased likelihood of frequent nighttime awakenings or remaining solely in light sleep stages. This light sleep is less restorative and, over time, negatively impacts all aspects of health, from balance to blood sugar levels. To stay in harmony with the body's natural needs, experts recommend limiting naps to before 3 p.m. and keeping them short, around 20 to 30 minutes. It should be viewed as a gentle recharge, not a full system reset. So if you're struggling to sleep at night and wonder why you feel groggy in the morning, even after 8 hours in bed, ask yourself, when do I nap during the day? The answer to that question might be hidden in your evening routine. 5. Napping without considering the environment. Many people believe napping is simply closing their eyes and letting their body rest. However, they don't realize that how and where a nap occurs can drastically affect how the body perceives this rest. Napping in an unsuitable environment can send mixed signals to the brain. This causes it to remain in a state of heightened alertness instead of transitioning into a truly relaxed state. The fact is, while our senses may dull with age, the brain remains remarkably reactive to external stimuli. Noise, temperature, light levels, even body position, all these factors can influence nap quality. Here's the harsh reality: many older adults nap with the TV still on in the background, curtains wide open, or sitting upright in a chair that doesn't provide proper neck or spine support. These habits may seem harmless, but over time, they can diminish the actual benefits of napping and even contribute to chronic fatigue. Take light, for example. When the body is exposed to bright light, especially blue light from electronic screens, it suppresses melatonin production, the hormone responsible for falling asleep. So even if your eyes are closed during a nap, light penetrating through your eyelids can disrupt your internal biological clock. As a result, such sleep will feel more like a brief shutdown than a complete rejuvenation of the body. Sound is another crucial factor. Some older adults believe they've grown accustomed to background noise, but scientific research suggests otherwise. Even quiet, familiar sounds, like the low chatter of a TV or passing cars, can prevent the brain from reaching deep sleep stages. These deep stages are actually key for memory consolidation, hormone regulation, and cell restoration. In other words, if the environment is noisy, you might be sleeping, but you're not truly recovering. Finally, posture. Lying down for a nap isn't always practical, especially in public or when living with others. However, napping in an uncomfortable position, such as slouched in a stiff chair or curled up on a sofa without adequate support, can lead to poor circulation, back or neck pain, and interrupted breathing. Older adults with sleep apnea or reduced lung capacity are particularly vulnerable when sleeping in a cramped or bent posture. A good example is George, a 77-year-old man who napped daily after lunch in his recliner with the blinds open and the news on. He thought he was resting, but often woke up groggy, irritable, and with a numb neck. After being advised to change his routine, closing the blinds, using a neck pillow, turning off the TV, and playing quiet instrumental music, he noticed a huge difference. His naps became shorter, more refreshing, and he no longer needed coffee to wake up. The conclusion is clear: the napping environment is as crucial as the nap itself. Just as you wouldn't dine standing in a noisy hallway, don't expect poor sleep conditions to provide quality rest. Creating a dedicated nap space, quiet, darkened, comfortable, with proper support, can improve everything from mood to immune function. This is especially vital for older adults, whose sleep cycles are already quite fragile. With age, one's sleep architecture changes. We experience less deep sleep and are more prone to waking at night. A poorly organized nap can further disrupt this balance, making nighttime rest more elusive and trapping one in a cycle of superficial daytime sleep and restless nights. Therefore, do not underestimate the power of your environment. It can either restore you or deprive you of the rest your body desperately needs. A few small changes to your napping environment can dramatically alter how you feel, think, and move throughout the day. And at this stage of life, every bit of quality rest makes a huge difference. Concluding thoughts. What most often surprises people entering old age? It's not the inevitable aches or the slowing pace of life. It's the realization that everyday habits and lifestyle choices, formed in the present, have an invisible yet profound impact on the length and quality of future life. This is especially evident concerning a seemingly simple and often underestimated practice: daytime napping. Yes, we're talking about napping. Not some fateful event or complex medical intervention, but a simple, conscious choice for better quality rest. Indeed, many older adults often don't give their naps due importance. They tend to view it as a common, quick doze or adhere to the principle of "I've always done it this way." However, it is precisely small, daily repeated habits that gain colossal power. They can either become a pillar for longevity or slowly and imperceptibly erode its foundations. And in most cases, one doesn't notice this process until the damage becomes obvious and tangible. To conclude this narrative, the authors would like to invite the reader to ponder the following thought. Imagine someone waking from a nap not groggy or in pain, but instead refreshed, clear-headed, and full of energy. This isn't some fantasy reserved exclusively for the young. This is a state achievable starting today, simply by applying the knowledge gained. Everyone deserves quality rest. You deserve to feel good after a nap, not worse. And everyone has the power to make this their reality, step by step, one nap at a time.